Hello, viewers, and welcome back to another interview from the Comics Pals. I'm Marco. We're here at New York Comic Con 2018, talking to a bunch of people, and I'm here with Gavin Smith. Right over a brand new series coming out. It's live on Kickstarter now, and it's called Dead Legends. So we're gonna just kind of jump into that, and I definitely wanted to start with that, just knowing, of course, it is like brand new. It's coming out.
Right.
So what can you tell us about the book? And sort of just a quick elevator pitch to just kind of hype it up.
It's a martial arts book, kind of in the vein of Bloodsport, Enter the Dragon, something like that. The gist of it is a woman enters a martial arts tournament to get revenge against a guy who killed her husband. But she can't just straight up kill the guy. She has to run the brackets to get to him. But during the course of the tournament, she finds out that she's now pregnant with her dead husband's kid. So now she's fighting for two.
Dude, it's I got a chance to read it beforehand. It is action-packed. It was a lot of fun, and Jan is definitely like that. Get their character, like, to like definitely come back, and you're sort of rooting for her, if anything.
I'm sorry, who was that?
You're rooting for her, if anything.
Right? Yeah, you kind of have to be, but like, there's also like a lot of elements of like, what is the true cost of revenge? You know, and she's got this tunnel vision for this guy, even though she's pregnant, but she's just got all this rage built up into her that she wants to get him, and this is her only chance. And of course she has to protect herself because it's the last remaining bit of what she has with her husband. So we're tackling those sort of issues as well too.
No, it was an awesome ride, and it was just this was just the preview issue that came out, right?
Yeah, it's the first issue. We're going to put it out in full trade paperback form, but we're formatting it in issues so that if someone down the line wants to put it out in issues, we can do that. But right now, we just want to do a straight-to-graphic novel, have a nice one complete set.
Awesome, yeah. And I kind of wanted to talk about how your sort of start in comics, and I mean, to get you to the point that you want to make it. Sort of how did you sort of dive into that, and what was your intro? Starting
in my career in comics?
Yeah.
Okay. So actually, about 10 years ago, I've been drawing my whole life. So I kind of quit for a little bit after high school, but then started getting myself back into it. And about 10 years ago, I decided to go to the Kubert School. So I graduated, did 3 years there, graduated in 11, and came home and just started making my own books. So like I did a comic called Human City that I started in Joe's class. I was in the next to last class that Joe taught before he passed away. So, I started in his class, then started working for this company called Blue Juice Comics, drawing this book called The Accelerators. From there, I've had a bunch of jobs since then. Like, I've been doing work for Webtoons. I just worked on Ghost in the Shell. I just did Gregory Graves. That was written by Dan Harmon. Brent Schoonover and I tag teamed the art on that. It's been going strong for full-time for the last 7 years. So
that's awesome, dude. And I actually got the chance to pick up the Accelerators too. I was sort of I didn't get all the way through, but there was definitely sort of a growth to your art, and
that first volume started was 2012, so it was about a year out of school, and it was like at school, all the homework assignments were like 3-5 pages max, So then it's like, oh man, I've got to do a 22-page book monthly. So I had to, I was probably producing that much as a student, but then when it came time to concentrate on one project, it was adapting to that monthly format was kind of crazy, and just pushing myself to get it done. And now I've it's been. What year is it? 2018? Yeah, 6-7 years later, it's I hope I'm getting a little better at it at this point. So yeah.
So coming out of the school, how sort of was that trying to jump in? What do they provide sort of internships? Is it how does that sort of work? I'm curious.
They give us they took us to the DC offices when it was still in New York, and they had Marvel editors come in. They put you right in front of them. And from there, it's, you have 3 years to get it ready. And get the chops ready, because you're going to meet them at the end of third year. We knew that going in. So we met them. I got a couple emails from them, Marvel DC guys. but like it was mostly just like them asking me to do more samples, and I was like, my attitude was, and I've done samples for companies before, and that's fine. That's what they want to get you hired. And my attitude was, I just spent the last 3 years of school doing nothing but samples. I wanted to start making comics. Like, that's why I'm in this. So I made my own comic, and then that's been responsible for every art job I've ever had.
That's awesome, and that's like, I feel the goal after you sort of come out. Like, you want to work in comics, and if not,
right.
the barrier to entry is so low.
Right. It's funny because like my main goal in comics is to like make my own comics so I can work on the big stuff. Then so that I can go back to my own stuff again. So right now I'm kind of like, and I've done a little of that, So it's funny, like I just got done with the Ghost of the Shell gig, which is like crazy. I never thought like I'd have a gig like that because it's so odd for a guy from Indiana to be drawing Ghost in the Shell. So.
What is it? So it was interesting. You sort of said that you want to start small, get your name onto like a big book, and then come back down. Like it's interesting because we talk about this a lot on the show, and one of those things is like, okay, if that's the case, like, is that like a market shift in the way that creators are sort of thinking? Because back in the day, like Marvel and DC was the top place to go.
Right. Yeah, I mean. Yeah, and now the possibilities are endless, and there's it's not just those two companies, and like I feel a lot of people feel like they haven't made it because they haven't worked for those companies, and I don't get that line of thinking because like if the goal is to make comics, like just make a comic book, or sure, like or it's working for someone else, it doesn't mean less. I mean, at the end of the day, it's ink printed on paper, so like. Just because it doesn't say DC or Marvel, it doesn't invalidate it. So, yeah, that, I guess.
I don't know. Awesome stuff. I definitely agree. So those are all the questions that I had for this one. Right before we go, can you give us your sort of like any things that you're plugging? Obviously, the Kickstarter. Is there anything else? Where can we find you on the internet, email, that kind of stuff?
You can find me on Instagram or Twitter at Gavin P. Smith. Just put a P in the middle. Don't get dirty about that. But Gavin P. Smith on Instagram, Twitter, GavinSmithComics.com. You can find accelerators in your comic shop if it's good. Ghost in the Shell comes out at some point. I don't know. Gregory Graves should be out as well from Starburns Press. Be on the lookout for Dead Legends. If you're here at New York Comic Con, we've only got like a handful of the first issue teasers left, so come grab one.
Awesome. Well, you guys have it. You're hearing it first here with the Comics Pals. As always, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, at the Comics Pals. Shoot us an email, comicspals@gmail.com. And of course, like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel and for this video as well. So, Gavin, thank you so much again.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll catch you guys next time.